So, buying AI software feels like progress. It isn't. Most of the time, it's a way to move the risk out of the boardroom and it dumps it on the people who are doing the work. And here's the problem with that: that moves the risk, but the risk doesn't disappear. It becomes invisible until it shows up later as missed targets, confused teams, and results that nobody can explain. This mistake isn't made by naive teams, it's made by smart executives under pressure. Boards that want action, investors that want results, markets that are noisy, competitors that are announcing AI initiatives, and then FOMO. I mean, we're afraid of our competitors passing us. What are they doing? We spend all this time watching what everybody else is doing. So companies do the most visible thing. They shop. They shop for new platforms. They shop for new co-pilots. They shop for new automation layers. And all these things feel like progress because money is being spent and something's being installed, but buying tools is not a strategy, it's delegation. You'll often hear people talk about AI as the new gold rush, and that comparison kind of rubs me the wrong way because it's actually more accurate than most people realize, and not just for the reasons that they give. The real gold rushes, if you think about it, if you look back in history, most of the money wasn't made by the miners. It was made by the people selling picks, shovels, food, transportation, and the saloon owners, so the infrastructure. And the miners weren't foolish, they just underestimated how hard the work would be, how unpredictable the, conditions would be, and then how quickly the costs would add up. Most of them worked very hard every day and still fell behind. I've worked with venture-backed companies. I've worked with public companies. I've supported capital raises, and I've actually spent time in real mining operations in the field of those some of those public companies. And the pattern's always the same. When enthusiasm runs ahead of planning, leadership feels momentum, but the people doing the work, the people funding the effort, carry the consequences. And AI is no different. When I talk about AI architecture, I'm not talking about technical drawings. I'm talking about three very unglamorous questions. Number one, ownership. You've heard me say this before. Who's accountable when the system produces the wrong output? Number two, sequencing. What happens first, second, and third? And what breaks when your volume doubles or triples or goes up 10x? And then finally, incentives. Number three, who benefits from this work and who quietly pays when it doesn't work? If those answers aren't explicitly answered, then no AI tool that you ever buy will save you or your company. Tools don't fix businesses. Tools amplify whatever already exists. If your processes are unclear, AI makes them faster, more chaotic. And if ownership is fuzzy, AI makes accountability disappear. And if the decisions were already disconnected from the outcomes, AI widens the gap. That's why most AI fails before day one. They show up quietly 6 to 12 months later when no one can explain why the results didn't improve or why the stress and strain on the system's process and people has increased. So before I ask what tools should we buy, ask this instead. What happens when this does work at 10 times the current volume? Who owns that outcome? Who owns the expectation? And then finally, who explains the failure when it happens? And if you can't answer those questions, buying software isn't a strategy, it's motion. AI creates leverage only when architecture exists first. Without it, tools don't create advantage, they create noise. The next episode, we'll talk about where AI actually changes the map. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. I'll leave this recording up for future viewing, and look forward to seeing you on our next episode.